This hour of the Dave Ramsey Show is brought to you by Zander Insurance, the company I've been recommending for term life, disability, and ID theft protection for almost 20 years. Go to ZanderInsurance.com or call 800-356-4282. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for being with us. It's all about you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Starting off this hour is going to be Detroit, Michigan. Anthony is with us. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
Hey, Dave. So my wife and I just recently sold our home. Our proceeds were $55,000. We currently have about $62,000 in debt. When we sold the house, we moved in with my in-laws. So my question for you is, should we take those proceeds, knock out a majority of our debt, live with our in-laws for a little bit, and power save for a down payment on our new place? Or should I use my equity that I received for a down payment and just hit that snowball hard?
Cool. What's your household income?
$145,000.
Good for you. Good for you. And how many children do you have?
I have one daughter.
How old?
3 months.
Okay. So what's your time frame to be with the in-laws if we pay off the debt with this money and power save?
Probably 9 months to a year.
Okay. Can you do that?
Yeah, we have a great relationship.
Will you then?
I believe so, but I can't tell the future. But hopefully, but yeah, I think we would.
Okay, because not many people can do this. All right, everybody talks about it because they like the math, but
right.
At the end of that math is a clogged up bathroom. You know, I mean, there's just
yeah.
So, and stinky diapers and everything else, right? So they're cute for a few minutes, but oh my Lord, yeah. I'm going to use the money to pay off the debt either way, okay?
Okay.
And clear the debt. And with your income, you're going to be debt free in 20 minutes. And then you haven't quite got enough to do it, but you'll be there very, very quickly, right?
Right.
And then as you said, we're going to save our emergency fund and power save into a down payment, even if that means that after 6 months, this social experiment's gone badly, and you have to go rent something for 6 months. I'd be okay with that if that enters into the equation. More okay than I would just going and buying something right now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna revert to the baby steps with what you're doing, because this is your shortest path to wealth. It's your shortest path to home ownership with meaning. Okay.
Right.
And this idea that we just have to buy a house like our hair is on fire or we're all going to hell or something is crazy. All right. And so I want everybody to buy houses. I just want you to own the house. I don't want it to own you. And I want you to get your financial act together in the process. And so when broke people buy houses, it makes them broker. That's why they call them mortgage brokers. So
right.
So I like your plan. And I like that phrase. I haven't used that phrase. I may steal it. Power save. That's good.
Power save.
Yeah, that's good, because what that tells me is you're totally focused, intense. You're not going to be running off and going, oh, we're going to do like 2 weeks in the Bahamas while we're power saving. Yeah. That's not power saving. That's like wussing. And so, but power saving is head down, game on, baby, right? And that's when you're doing it. And you got it, man. I like it. So yes, that's exactly what I would do. But even if you need to move out and rent for a little while till you get your down payment up because the social experiment fails, that wouldn't make you bad people, by the way. It would just mean we all didn't want to live in the same house together anymore. And that's an okay thing. And our family, we love each other, but we're not going to live in the same house. We love each other, but we want to keep loving each other. And so we know better. I mean, it just, yeah. Grandparenting is good when they don't live in your house. It's harder when they live in your house. So, yeah. I got 2 of them this week, by the way. The parents went on vacation and left them with us, which is dangerous for everyone involved. The parents, the kids, the grandparents, everyone is at risk when this happens. Yeah, because Papa Dave does some stuff that with the little boy, little William, you probably shouldn't do it, but I can do it. So, because you left him with me. So, see, that's what happens. So we've already had some adventures this weekend. That's right. Me and the boy and the dog. That's right. We got out there stirring up some stuff. So breaking some stuff. That's good. That's good. So, hey, but you living with them? No. Not full time. No, I love them. I'd take a bullet for them, but they can't live with me. So you guys work it out. Yeah, I hope you can do it. And if you can, more power to you. It's a wonderful thing. But I think I'm just too contrary. I like being an empty nester. I've liked every phase of raising our kids. I liked them when they were tiny and they were cute and cuddly and all that stuff. And then I liked them when they weren't and I didn't have to change their clothes for them. That was awesomeness when that broke through. And then I liked them when they went off to school. And then when they could play sports and stuff, that was cool too. That was fun. I liked teenagers. We had good teenagers. They were teenagers, but they were good teenagers. I liked them when they were in college, and I like them as adults a lot. They're fun as an adult. I liked them when they left, when they moved out. I liked them then, and I like them when they come back and bring the grandbabies. Rachel came over and brought Amelia last night, so all of them were hanging out with us last night. So I've loved every phase of it, but I didn't love any of them enough to want to go back to those phases. That's like, if you're one of those people who says the best years of your life were in high school, that means that you ain't had much of a life. That's what that means. If the best years of your life were when you're in high school, you're like Uncle Rico on Napoleon Dynamite, right? If the best years of your life are in high school, you ain't had a life, really. And if the best years of your kids' lives, view with your kids is not the last few that you've had, then you're not growing. You're not changing. So, hey, grandparenting is awesomeness. If I'd have known how great this was going to be, I'd have been nicer to their parents. Really. So, but it's a social experiment to move in together. And if you guys can pull that off, man, go for it. I'm with you. I got your back. I love it. Go for it. And the power save thing, that's the magic phrase to our whole conversation right there. So go get after it, man. And call us and let us know when you're debt-free, and then when you get to buy your next home, and then when you get that one paid off, and wow, you're heading off in the right direction. It's good stuff. Embrace the phases of your life. Embrace where you are. Squeeze every ounce of life out of every time that you have. Don't be sitting there going, once the teenagers are gone. No, enjoy the teenagers. Oh, once they're out of diapers. No, enjoy them while they're in diapers. They're cute. They're cuddly. They're dependent at that point. They're fun. I used to say if mine would have stayed little, I'd have had 23, but that's just not true. I really wouldn't. Because they weren't going to stay little anyway. They'd grow up and want cars and colleges and stuff and weddings. Oh, yeah, that one. That goes in the budget, too. Whew. Yeah. It's an adventure, you guys, this thing we do call family, isn't it? And isn't it a wonderful one? And you got to get your act together to be able to live it and live it wide open. Pedal to the metal, baby. This is how we do it around here. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Over the years, I've seen so many families suffer by not having life insurance. It's not that they didn't care. It's just that they didn't know. So they did nothing. That's a huge mistake. Listen, term life insurance is the only way to go. It's not complicated, and it's not expensive. Please go to xanderinsurance.com or call 800-356-4282 and get the info you need to take care of your family. Trust me, taking these simple steps will let your family know how much you care. 800-356-4282. Thank you for joining us. Ashley is with us in Alaska, Kodiak, Alaska, to be precise. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Good, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, we're in a little bit of a situation. We are getting a job that is getting transferred to Alabama, most likely, and they no longer pay for the move. So we are going to have to come out of pocket. We're in baby step number 2, trying to get rid of all of our debt. We do have $3,000 in savings because we do live in a very expensive area, and it takes a lot more expense to go see family if an emergency should happen. So our question is, do we continue to snowball all of our debt, and how should we go about with the extra moving costs, which we have estimated to be about $8,000.
And so what does he make a year?
He brings by himself about 105, and his will stay the same regardless if we live here or if we move.
Mm-hmm. So why are you moving?
We just going for the job.
Why?
For his job.
Why? I mean, they're making you move?
We just can't stay here.
They're making you move, or you don't want to stay there?
We just, financially, we can't really afford to stay here, and we have 6 family that needs our help. So my dad needs help, but I can't do it from here because it costs $2,000 for one plane ticket.
Okay, so it's not the truth to say you're moving for his job. The truth is you're moving. The truth is you're moving because the truth is you're moving because you don't like the expense of the area and to be near sick family.
Right.
And his job's a break even.
Job, just different area.
His job's a break even, and that's why they don't want to pay for it, because they don't care if he moves.
Yeah. Well, at one point they used to pay for everybody to move, but now they have with the budget cuts, they have taken all of that moving expense away.
Yeah, but you're not moving because they asked you to. You're moving because you wanted to, and that's another reason they're not paying for it. Okay, so what you make 105, he makes 105. What do you make?
I make $40,000 here. I own a business, a daycare business.
What are you going to do with it?
I will just go back when we go back to the South. We will just start up a new one.
Will you just close it?
Yes, it's an in-home, so it's not a brick and mortar.
Would somebody pay you for your customers?
I don't know. There is a huge demand here because of the limited population.
So if there was a daycare somewhere, they might pay you for these customers?
Maybe. I haven't checked into that. I didn't know if that would be a thing.
Well, you have a business, and I'm just trying to sell your business rather than just close it. That's what I was thinking. The only value your business has is because it doesn't own anything. The only value it has is the income stream, which is the customer base. And they'll go somewhere, but if you could get them all to go to one place and say, we sold this to such and such, and they go over there, then, you might help you get some of this money together is what I'm thinking. Okay. And so, yes, you need to stop your debt snowball, and you need to save up the other $5,000. Otherwise, you're going to go in debt to move, I guess, right?
Right, and which is one thing that we don't want to do.
Exactly. And so, does this have a necessary time frame on it, or?
It will be most likely during the summer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because
the cheapest way for us to do is to actually drive the whole way. Mm-hmm. Which we'll have to take the Alcan through Canada.
Right.
So we have to wait till it's good roads to travel.
Gotcha. Okay. And the man, what a haul! Alaska
and we're
to
selling
Alabama.
Everything we have.
I'm surprised you could do it for $8,000 in gas. It's an adventure you're taking on. Do you own your home?
No, we do not.
Okay. All right. And so you've got $3,000 and you've got debt, and you're going to stop the debt. I assume you've already stopped 401ks and that kind of stuff, right?
Yes, we have.
Good. Okay. Then, just stop your debt. Stop paying on the debt. Minimums, anyway. Pay minimums. But stop paying extra and roll up your sleeves and let's try to sell this daycare off as fast as you can. Even if you sell it off early, so what? Okay. And if you can get somebody gives you $10,000 for those customers or something, let them have them now. And that gives you the money to make the move. And or they give you $5,000 or whatever. I mean, anything's more than you were going to get before we had this conversation. And then save up and pay, make your move, get your move done, and then restart your debt snowball. And then just remember that baby step one is not $3,000; it's $1,000. And I wouldn't have more than that in Alabama or in Alaska or in Los Angeles or in New York City or in Tokyo. Miguel is with us. Miguel's in Los Angeles. Hey, Miguel, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks, Dave.
Good. How can I help?
I'm considering renting an office for my growing business, and I'm seeking your advice on if this is something you would recommend. And
why?
To meet clients and to work in.
Okay. And how many clients are you meeting with now?
I meet with probably about 20 a year.
Okay. Like 2 a month. And where do you meet with them?
Local Starbucks or coffee shop.
What do you do?
I'm a wedding filmmaker.
Good for you. Okay. All right. And so having a place that you could unfold and have a bunch of your stuff on the walls, or have a big, an 80-inch that was playing some sizzle reel stuff of some of your other shoots would be valuable.
Yeah, it would.
Okay. The only problem is I don't know how it's going to monetize, because, I mean, if you start spending $1,000 a month, that's an extra $12,000 a year you have to make just as a result of having a place to sit for two people a month. So I'm not saying Starbucks is the answer, but I'm wondering if there's something in between. Like if you knew someone that had an office that would let you use their conference room twice a month, if you paid them a tenth of what rent would be on an office.
Gotcha.
Because the office is not going to make you any money unless I'm not hearing something. You got little kids and you can't work at home because they're screaming while you're trying to edit or something like that?
Well, that's the plan. My wife and I are looking to, start a family by the end of this year.
But right now it's really quiet there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's been working out the last couple of years, but...
Well, this is how I started. And so I'm not asking you to do something I wouldn't do or didn't do. Of course, I had little kids at home, but I couldn't meet with people that were broke financially and do coaching with them in my living room. That would just be weird. And so we didn't do that. I went to a guy that had an office and talked him into letting me use his conference room so many hours a month and paid him X. And it was about a tenth of what it would have been to rent a small office. And that was my first step. And then I used that to make money. And as I made more money, then I went and rented a little office for, quite a bit more. But I only gave the guy like $100 a month, and I could have in Nashville. I'm not in Los Angeles, right? And this was 30 years ago too. So I mean, I gave him $100 a month, and it would have been $1,000 a month. Nowadays, be more than that here, and certainly more than that where you are. But you drop $1,000 a month, you got to think about how much revenue you got to produce just because you have an office,
right?
And just to break, I got to get an extra $12,000 or extra $24,000 if it's $2,000 a month in here, just to do that. You can do that, but I'd probably rather put that money in my pocket. So I'm going to try to do some kind of interim step based on the fact that you're not meeting with clients that much. 20 a year. Think about that. Think about what it's costing you per client to meet with them. Even if you doubled your client base, you said we're going to have 40 meetings a year, and you divide that into the rent, it kind of starts to get yucky as to what you're paying per client to have a meeting. Now, I agree with you. Upgrade from Starbucks, but let's get creative as an interim step. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, this is Rachel Cruz. How can we live the life we want without debt, stress, and worry? I'm so excited to tell you about my new book, Love Your Life, Not Theirs. I'll walk you through 7 money habits to help you enjoy your life and do the things you want. You'll learn how to quit comparing yourself to others, think before you spend, and talk about money even when it's hard. These principles will give you a fresh perspective on taking control of your money. Are you ready to love your life? Love Your Life, Not Theirs will show you how. Go to RachelCruz.com to order today. That's RachelCruz.com.
Have you checked out our famous 3 for $33 sale happening right now in the online store at DaveRamsey.com? Well, you can get 3 of our best-selling books and tools for only $33. That's a savings of about $9 a piece. Or you can pick up 5 of our best-selling books or tools for only $50. See, the more you buy, the more you save. So, like stuff like the Total Money Makeover, the envelope systems, the DVDs on getting out of debt, that kind of stuff, check it all out. Even ebooks and audio books and all kinds of things you can mix and match in there. 3 for $33 or 5 for $50. That's the deal. DaveRamsey.com or call customer care at 888-22-PEACE, 888-227-3223. Candace is with us in Louisville, Kentucky. Hi, Candace. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm good. Thank you.
Good. How can I help?
Well, I just started following you, and me and my husband started our debt snowball, and we're so excited. We paid off our first debt the end of February, and I started getting these calls and letters from our mortgage company asking us to contact them about this special FHA streamline refinance that we qualified for. Mm-hmm. And my question to you is it worth us even bothering to, refinance with them, or should we just stick to our plan and continue our debt snowball?
Well, the FHA Streamline program is nothing out of pocket and gives you a lower rate, no closing costs, but a lower rate, so that's not a bad thing. The only downside of it is that the rate that they quote you, because they build the closing costs into it, is higher than you could get if you did a traditional refinance. And so usually, if you're a candidate for refinancing, you're better off just to simply refinance. Now, how much do you owe on your home?
About $56,000.
Okay. And what's it worth?
$110,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what's your interest rate?
Right now, 6.25.
Yes. Are you going to stay in the home?
Yes.
Then you do need to refinance. Okay. Every 1% you save will save you $560, right?
Wow.
Per year. And so if you dropped from 6.25 to 4.25, that would save you about $1,000 a year, and you probably can save even more than that. I think you could get down below 4. What'd they quote you on the Streamline?
5.1.
See, that's no deal because the market is 4.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know if I should bother with that or try to get just a conventional, maybe even refinance it for 10. I've got 16 years left to pay it off on the life of our loan.
What's your household income?
Right now, $92,000.
What's your credit look like?
I've got like a 715.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the problem you're going to run into. A $56,000 refinance is hard to find a mortgage company want to write a loan that small.
Okay.
And so you're going to run into that. That's going to be a problem. Check with Churchill Mortgage.
Okay.
And talk to them about a conventional refinance on a 10-year. And see what kind of quote they give you. I would guess it's below 4. If you're going to stay in the home, it's going to be worth it. Okay? The second, and they may not write it because it's small. The second thing you could do, and I want you to compare this to what the Churchill mortgage quote is, because they're going to give you closing costs that are going to be, I don't know, $1,500 or something, right? So your first year of interest savings is all going to go out the window for closing costs with a traditional mortgage. The second thing you could do is check your local credit union or small town bank, and local bank, not the big ones, right? Not the big super expensive ones. We don't do stuff like Bank of America, Fifth Third, none of that, okay? So we do the small banks, right? And so if you can find one of them to write you just it in effect is a home equity loan. They will do that if you push them for no closing costs.
Oh, wow. We do bank with our local credit union.
Call them.
They have offers all the time on their
Call
website.
them and tell them you want no closing costs. So let's kind of look at your comparison. Let's pretend that Churchill came back at 4% and your credit union came back at 4.25% with no closing costs. We're going with the credit union.
Right, because there's no closing costs.
Exactly. Now, here's the trick. There's a couple things you got to remember with them. There's a couple things they like to put a limit on it, or they want it to be a variable. It must be fixed rate.
Okay.
And it must have no balloons or calls. So it can't be a 10-year mortgage that after 3 years you renegotiate. No. Because that's standard home equity loan language right there. And we're trying to make them say 10-year fixed rate, no closing costs, and no prepayment penalty. Usually credit union won't give you a prepayment penalty. But call that credit union, and I think that's where you're probably going to find your best deal. Now, I endorse Churchill Mortgage, and check with them. Maybe they got some kind of special thing going on. But A, they don't like to write small mortgages. The regular mortgage companies don't. And the credit union does. And B, you're going to have closing costs if you go with a more traditional mortgage. And I think you can get a fixed rate, no call, 10-year, no closing costs with your credit union. And I think that's, when you compare the interest rates, I don't think it's going to be hardly up anymore at all.
Okay, good. Thank you. I didn't want to just jump and just grab this offer without asking you, because I was like, I don't want to screw up what I'm doing. I don't want to think about paying off the house yet because I'm working on the debt snowball. But
you're going to pay this house off probably in the next 5 years or so.
Oh my gosh,
that's my guess. So. Well, that's my guess. I mean, you don't owe that much on it with the kind of income y'all got. I mean, unless you got a big debt snowball that we hadn't talked about. But I mean, as soon as you get that thing out of the way, boom, you're going to smack this house. And I mean, people call this show got more carb debt than you do house debt.
Yeah, I really just have a student loan and a Home Depot loan, and those are my two big nuggets that we're trying to get rid of.
So I mean, can you see paying an extra $10,000 on this house? Easy. Once those are gone.
Yeah.
See, that's a 5-year plan right there. So that's what I'm saying. I think you're done in 4 or 5 years on this house anyway. So we don't want a prepayment penalty, but go ahead and put it on a 10-year.
Okay.
Because how many years have you got remaining on the current mortgage?
16.
16, you told me that. Yeah, that's right. So what's going to happen is your lower interest rate is not going to help your payment's probably still going to go up a tiny bit.
Okay.
Because we're going from 16 to 10.
To 10.
But the interest rate's going to, you still get the interest rate savings. They're still not charging you, but all that difference is just going towards principal now.
Yeah, and okay. And by getting a conventional, will I get out of the what is that, the premium payments?
Yeah, the MIP, PMI, yes.
Yeah.
Because you don't have with either one of these routes, you'll get rid of that because you've got a very small loan to value equity. You're at about 50%. So, so either way. So check Churchill, get the quote there with the closing costs, look at the difference in the interest rate, get your credit union, tell your credit union they got to beat your mortgage company.
Okay.
That they're competing for your business right now. And do they have a local branch that you deal with?
My credit union?
Yes.
Yes.
Swing by and just sit down and talk to the manager in person.
Okay.
And give him your demands. Say, if you want my business, fixed rate, no prepayment, no closing costs, 10-year competitive rate.
Okay.
And I bet you, if you stop in and do that in person in a credit unions are so customer-centric, they're so customer-driven. That's why I endorse so many of them. And that manager, the way he's wired, he's going to really work to get this loan. He'd like to have this loan because it's a good loan for him. He's going to make good interest on it, and he's got a lot of collateral protection. So it's a good loan for the credit union. It's kind of a no-brainer for them, you know? Hey, good question. Thank you for joining us. Glad that we could help. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Thanks for being with us, America. We're glad you are here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Kevin is with us in Birmingham, Alabama. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Doing fine, Dave. I appreciate your program. A quick question. I was looking at the possibility, wondering what your opinion is about investing in a condominium that you can rent out and as to make income. I'm not really a fix-it-up guy, so it's hard for me to I guess, buy a house and do that. We've vacationed down in this area, and we've watched a certain condominium that's been on the market now in a place where we have been before, and the price has continued to come down. So I think they might be a little hungry that we could maybe make a like you've said, kind of a crazy offer to see what they respond. But our situation is our house is paid off. About $300,000 is what it's worth. We have about $400,000 in savings and CDs, and about $360,000 in my retirement right now. So we're really debt free, and I have this. We can continue to save, but I didn't know if
what's the price range of the condo? What kind of an offer would you make?
Well, they started out at about $230. They're now down to about $210. So, I don't know. I thought about, if we just threw them an offer, hey, we can pay cash $150,000 and kind of see what they say. Mm-hmm. And I guess my idea, and again, I'm not sure. My idea was I could begin to rent that, mm-hmm. And then of course, down the road,
this condo's down the Gulf Coast.
Yes, sir.
So what, 2 or 3 hours south of you?
Yes, that's right. It's about 4.5 hours.
Okay, all right. Well, the good news is you've done a great job with money. Congratulations. You're in a position to pay cash for it. Congratulations. If it just sits there and doesn't do anything and you guys go use it, you've earned the right to do that in your finances. It's not going to harm your finances. In other words, you don't have to rent it to make this make sense. If you want to rent it, that's an adventure that you'll go through with resort property. The rental market is a different market, and so it's not going to be rented much, and when it is, it's going to make a lot of money, and the management company is going to take a lot of it. And so it's a high percentage for maintenance and management, in other words, when they do rent it. So that'll be up to you. You can make the decision on all of that. As an investment, resort property is the most volatile kind of property. It goes up and it goes down really fast. And I've got a lake house here in Tennessee that I love. I dearly love it. We don't rent it out at all. We just use it, and we just use it 98% in the summertime. But a couple of years ago when the real estate market went down, stuff around the lake went way down. And guess what it's doing right now while the market's going up? It's going way up fast. So anytime it's around water or up in a mountain or on a beach, you're pretty much assured that you're going to have more volatility than other categories. But you can afford that volatility as long as you don't go into freak-out mode because you paid cash for it, and it's a reasonably small percentage of your overall net worth. Okay?
Gotcha.
So what I would do if you're going to make a lowball offer is what I always tell them is cash, and I'll close on Friday. We'll close right now. Get the paperwork ready. We can wire you the money like tomorrow if y'all want to close it. If you want to sell this thing, it's sold. It's gone. And because real estate agents sometimes they get all insulted when you insult their seller. and you have to just explain to them, I'm not trying to insult you, I'm not trying to make you mad, but look, this is cash. This is cash, and we'll close it Friday. And, be prepared to walk back away, and don't be walking in there. There's a reason that thing has sat on the market. It was priced too high, or that market's soft, or the rental market is soft, or there's something wrong, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so you don't need to pay what they're asking for whatever reason it is. And I'd like to know what's wrong with that market. Why hadn't this thing sold? Because a lot of that stuff on the Gulf Coast is going zoom, zoom again. I mean, you couldn't give, 5 years ago, you couldn't give them away. There were entire towers sitting empty down there, And now it's filled back up, and everybody's going crazy again. And it's like a gold rush thing on all this resort stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's your downside, but you got the money to play. You got the money to be at the table, and so be at the table. But don't, find out what's wrong, why it hadn't sold, and use that as the reason that they should take less and cash, and we'll close it by Friday. Y'all let us know. I mean, it's sold. Your condo's sold. If you want to buy it back, you can, but it's sold. Would you buy it back for $150? That's what I'd be asking them. Just remind them that's the business they're in. All right, Jason is in the Ukraine. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my question is, I'm a professional athlete. I've been playing in Europe the last 5-6 years. I recently got engaged to my fiance in October. And I live in Philadelphia during the summer months, and we're trying to decide if we should get rent an apartment or try to get a condo. I've saved up some money. I have like $23,000 to be on, like $33,000 in cash. I just got started raw this past summer, and then $10,000 in our emergency fund. So we're just struggling with the decision of should we try to rent something, even though our season goes from about August till May, and we're only in the States through the summer months, and we're just struggling with that decision right now.
Mm-hmm. But it just depends on what you want. I mean, you're going to let it just sit empty in the winter if you own it. You're not going to rent it, right?
No, right.
Okay. I'd be tempted to just rent, just because of the quality of life. It's just something else you don't have to mess with. Because it sounds like about 9 months out of your 12, the thing's just sitting there, and you're newly married, and you're enjoying Europe, and you're enjoying the, what are you playing, basketball?
Yep, basketball.
Okay,
yep.
Cool. And so you're enjoying the basketball career there, and for now, and you're probably looking at how many years that's going to be or not be, and that kind of thing, and then you're going to come home. When you stabilize, when you come home for good, that's probably when I would buy. But I mean, if you run the numbers out, you can do it because you're probably making enough to do it and to pay for it. But if you can rent a really nice place for 3 months when you're home. I mean, a really nice place for 3 months for when you're home for a whole lot less than what we're talking about here. And so, I looked at that. We've rented a house out on the ski slopes several winters in a row to go snow skiing, and it's pretty stinking expensive for a week or two, to do that. And but divide that into about $3 million for the cost of that stinking house. It's like I can rent out there for about 3 lifetimes and never catch up. So never cause that to work out. So it's got to be a small percentage of your income to be able to put that out there, and it needs to be the place you really want to live when you settle down. In order for you to buy it. So I probably would buy, but I might wait until I've been married a couple years and then make a decision and just enjoy the simplicity of renting 3 months a year back in the States and not having to fool with a house or a condo or something 9 months a year while you're overseas. And it just kind of keeps you, it doesn't put a leash on you. So that's quite so tight. And you'll get around to your investing. You're going to have plenty of time if you're watching your money, and it sounds like you are. Sounds like you're doing a good job with it, Jason. If we can help you further, just let us know, man. Open phones at 888-825-5225. I love real estate, and several of these calls today are about people buying a piece of real estate or refinancing a piece of real estate. And it's a great thing to do, but sometimes you need to just stop and think about what else you could do, and on the short term, what is the smart move? And sometimes renting is the smart move on the short term. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. Our thanks to James Childs, our producer. Blake Thompson's our senior executive producer. And Kelly Daniel, our associate producer and phone screener. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host, and we'll be back.
Hey guys, it's Kelly Daniel, associate producer and phone screener for The Dave Ramsey Show. Hey, this hour of the show is over, but you can find our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. We're everywhere for free, here to serve you.
Hey guys, this is Dave Ramsey reminding you to catch the Dave Ramsey Show live on our YouTube channel weekdays.